So first of all, I will keep this session very simple and straight. First of all, let me introduce Komal. This is her first mains with psychology, and she scored 272. And the USP of her answer writing is, if I could say in one phrase, is that desperate times, desperate measures. When everybody is worried about revision and reading in the last 15 days of the before meets, she was writing on daily basis. She used to submit me her full length test, and she keep on pinging, sir, please give it back, give the feedback ASAP. So I knew those days last year in September. She was just after my blood with her knife, said, be fast, please submit it back. And that thing pays her back. So again, congratulations, Komal, for your hard work and the status you have gained after qualifying this exam.
Sir, I think it's been your support. Like, because I started the preparation very late and the mains answer writing also, I did not do it earlier. And in the last days, I knew how much pressure I put on you. I was like, sir, please get my answers checked. And you were like, if the quality is required, time lagega. I'm trying to do my best. And I used to be like, I get it, sir, but please do it as much as quick as possible. And I think you the on point review that you gave that helped a lot.
Yeah, I always believe that if I'm going to read your answer copies line by line, so it demands a little time because everybody wants their copies instantaneously reviewed. And honestly, it's not feasible. But thankfully, I was able to address each and every copy of every aspirant, and it also paid back to them, including you. And
Yes, sir.
and for you, aspirants like you, whosoever is able to write consistently, they are going to get their dues back. If somebody is not writing, they will also face the consequences, and somebody is writing, they will get the rewards for sure. This
Yes, sir.
means preparation is very simple. And one more thing regarding answer writing, like you keep on writing full length tests,
Hmm.
and especially in the last days. What's the reason behind? Because again, I will tell you, during those days, the attitude of an aspirant is quite reverse. They just abjure writing. Those days, they don't want to write. But you are
Hmm.
writing very, you can say, in the top gear. Why?
So actually, I realized that by writing, few of my things were being addressed. One is how much I'm able to recall, and am I able to understand the question, meet its demand, right? And third, am I able to fulfill the demand in the right time, like within 3 hours of the duration that is given. So during the last days, I had very less time in hand, and my preparation with respect to the presentation, the structure, and the examples part was not very done. So I was like, writing is the key so that I get a hang of how to address the questions, even if I don't know an answer to particular thing.
Now, starting from the basics, Komal, like the number of aspirants who are going for 2024, it might be their first mains, like you, and some other aspirants who are not able to qualify prelims this year. So, what strategy you suggest them? Just adopt that, and you can also score 270 or 275 plus in their first attempt. So, what should be the approach?
Sir, the approach would be very simple. Like, first of all, we would divide it into the first reading, note making, and answer writing part.
Okay.
So, first reading, when it comes to first reading, paper one and paper two, paper one have any basic source and NCRTs. So, we need to have a single read of these things so as to get a hang of what psychology exactly is. So, I come from a non psychology background. I had like BSc Maths, Physics, Chemistry. So for me, a overview of the subjects was very necessary. And then after going through the topics, I realized, okay, now I went through the PYQs of each syllabus word. Like the fourth chapter is human behavior. So the first keyword is growth and development. It's like, okay, इस पे क्या questions पूछे जा रहे हैं? And based on that, we make notes. Now that notes would be from your basic book which you have decided. Second is, if that basic book is not sufficient, then you can go for any other thing. I went for Mukul Pathak sir's notes, which were available, handwritten notes जो available थे. उसमें से जो bits I wanted to complete an answer, I just used to cut and then paste them in my OneNote. Third thing is to collect examples. So collect examples from various sources. I would not say that specifically psychology के लिए collect करने चाहिए, but once a reading of the syllabus happens and a reading of exams starts, so psychology is a real life based application subject. So the starting 4 months, if somebody is going to give next year prelims, they have one good year in their hand, and in that 4 months they can give for psychology preparation. So 3 months it would take to understand what psychology is, the basic subjects, concepts, etc. And then once they get hang of it and they start preparing the rest of the things, over time they can use these theories where they are being used. Jैसे how is this cognitive dissonance being used in Swachh Bharat Abhiyan? So they post Lakshmi Devi stickers. No, so if you have to keep your house clean, if you want Lakshmi Devi to come inside your home, you would have to keep your house clean. You can't keep it untidy. And then there's a dissonance created in their head that I respect Lakshmi, but I'm also untidy. So that way, real life examples help a lot.
Yeah, I just want you just take these two words. I just want to say that UPSC, whenever ask any question, when it's the name of example, it's real life examples. This is one of the most favorite phrases for UPSC. It's always real life examples. So you gave a very beautiful example regarding Swachh Bharat. There are a number of it, and it is not like that it should be collected. You can think about it also, I
Yeah,
would say.
exactly. So the examples would be from either the NCRTs, the basic source that we have read, or the notes that we have read, any of them, or the answer copies, the answer material that we get. Like I joined your course, so the answer material that you used to provide. If there were few examples that were helpful to me, I would jot down it in my notes. Apart from that, some GS examples which are very general that can be used, like how does teamwork help, how does social energy needs to be generated. You can write the example of self-help group, you can write the example of seva model, right? And
Yeah, Seva model, legit Papad initiative, it was there. So there are a number of examples you can quote there.
so and then it comes from your real life also, where you see a lot of circumstances that, okay, I was walking on the road, and then there was this heuristics way to go nearby, which hotel to prefer. So examples in psychology, I believe, can be collected from anywhere, and it can also be like a lot of brainstorming that can be done. Since childhood, a lot of experiences happen, like how your parents deter you from doing some act by saying that, okay, if you do this, I won't buy you this thing. So that is like,
Yeah,
okay.
this is from positive reinforcement to punishment to pre-max principle. These can easily be connected from your childhood memories only. Then coming to memory part also, you can quote these kind of examples from your personal life only. Leave that. Like today only, I'm reading something regarding self-actualization, and in
Mm.
those notes given in the IGNU course, they started with Lata Mangeshkar only. They simply claim she's a self-actualized woman. So you can take few good examples, and they will going to make a great, you can say, change in your answers, a positive change. In every answer,
Definitely,
you
sir.
will get plus half or plus one, and by the end of the day, you end up plus 30 or plus 35.
I believe examples play a key role, and in my paper also they played because so what happens is UPSC wants a generalist. They want an IAS officer as an administrator. They are not preferring for someone who is gonna do research or PhD work. So they want practical examples which where they can see that okay बच्चे को optional आता है, optional apply करना भी आता है. And there was this one
True.
question.
I keep on repeating to each and every aspirant, this is not a paper for a psychologist. This is an exam to test the abilities and the qualities of an administrator. So the best quality of an administrator is the application, how you apply the knowledge of psychology you gained after reading this beautiful subject.
Yes, sir. So एक क्वेश्चन था पेपर में which was about intelligent advertising. तो उसमें I used like how do you do advertising who to the consumers who are intelligent, right? And I used examples like this Seba Med soap where they show that okay the pH is less than this, so it is safe for your skin. They use rice bran oil with vitamin A, Saffola rice bran oil. So all of these things act as like okay intelligent buying जिसे कहते हैं, and I think that might have helped me score well. There was
You
also
just
this
need
thing
to,
ki,
you just linked the one of the function of attitude is knowledge function, right? So advertisements, like over the time they grew, they knew that which aspect of attitude should be targeted for a targeted audience. For an urban city, in urban cities, Sebamed is an elite product for kids. They
hmm,
know that the parents who are going to buy it are well educated. So that's why they mention this pH and all, because they know we are going to sell not based on the ego function, but on the knowledge function. So that's why they are
e-
selling it.
exactly, sir. And then how does culture influence advertising? तो I'm like डेयरी मिल्क का जो होता है कि खाने के बाद कुछ मीठा हो जाए, which is an Indian concept. And Dairy Milk has made it its brand tagline.
Okay, let me share you more sasta wala. You like it was very famous like in the northern India parts. There's a brand name of pan masala, and they popularized that pan masala just by saying it Baratiyon ka swagat hai this pan masale se. See the influence of culture, and it was a very big hit. That pan masala brand became a multi crore business within a year or two just because of that tagline only.
Exactly. So these examples, I think, when you were saying these examples, I got excited to know these things. So the same way would happen with my answer copies or with anyone's answer copies जिन्होंने examples लिखे हैं, which are very relevant. So the
Yeah,
examiner would find that, okay, this is so interesting.
that's true. Who like including you, there are a number of students. Some of them couldn't make it, but I don't say they are not good in psychology. They score all of them. Most of them score 265 plus. Around eight aspirants score 265 plus, and they have this knack. They are able to connect the psychology with the real life, and this is the essence of answer writing in psychology, irrespective of paper one and paper two differentiation. There's nothing like paper one, paper two now because application of concept is quintessential in paper one and paper two is also there.
True, sir.
And yes, I know one more I written back to those days. In your first test, I evaluated and you scored 100 plus. My policy of evaluation during those days is to give you less marks so that
Uh,
you people put more efforts. If I give you more marks, it might create a sense of complacency. So you scored around 106 or something like this, and you said just I get only these much marks. Then I especially commented you are the first person who scored 100 plus in my FLT one. So you just if things goes in the same manner, you will definitely going to crack it.
I remember this, sir. And when you said this, that okay, I give you like 30 to 35 marks less than what is predicted in the exam, like what you would be getting in the exam if you write the same answer. And I was like, and I started calculating, okay, फिर इतने इतने आएंगे तो ठीक है, optional safe है. And then when finally I came to see the mark sheet, it was very similar because I scored around 134 in paper one and 138 in paper two.
Yeah.
So they were on the similar lines.
See, Komal, my approach or my philosophy behind this whole test series and with my initiative is to like put the pressure on the aspirants in an adequate manner. Like they should put their efforts in the right direction, and the efforts should be adequate also. Like adequate in the sense you should not be on the burnout stage. Like you're putting a lot of efforts, you're neglecting other subjects, and also not like that you're just writing two or three tests and saying sir ho nahi raha. So it should be a balanced approach. So the takeaway from you, like even I got inspired from your dedication during those days. I was like, यार ये लड़की तो लिखे जा रही है and I have to evaluate her each and every copy in the last days when pressure is so much. But see, when when you are doing things in a different manner, what people are not doing, you are going to get success for sure. This was also a kind of learning I get from you only. Yeah, this I should learn from this girl. She's putting so much efforts.
I think one thing that has worked for me in this UPSC journey is to find out what I want and create my unique way of reaching there. Like I would take the approaches of different people, but I have to tweak it according to my own. I realized कि last days में मेरा optional ready नहीं था. मैंने sectional tests दिए थे, full length नहीं दिए. पूरा paper one मैंने एक साथ कभी नहीं लिखा because I was not prepared enough. But sectionals was like कि 4 चैप्टर एक साथ याद होते हैं या नहीं ये तो देख लो पहले. And that was the thing which pushed me कि okay, एक दिन में 4 चैप्टर पढ़ के शाम को लिखना है, रात को 2 बजे भी हो लिखना है, 3 घंटे का पेपर है. And I know there were times where it was like night 12 or 1 and then I used to start writing it. And then it used to be morning 4 and then I'm like okay अब हो गया. अब पहले सर को भेज देती हूँ और फिर उनको परेशान करती हूँ कि सर करेक्ट करके दीजिए मेरे को.
The moment I got up, I just opened my iPad and your message blinks, and I was again like, "Arey yaar, again on daily basis she is pinging me."
I know, sir. I was trying to cover up for all the things that I missed in the starting. Actually, I fell
No,
ill in July, sir.
yeah, I know. That's why I'm telling now to everyone the kind of dedication, that kind of burning desire inside you keeps you through the all the obstacles, irrespective of your health status, irrespective of your mental health also. Because at times I used to think that you were in a lot of anxiety, and it's normal for everyone. And I was
And I
also in the
remember
same
I used
situation.
to message you. I used to message you. I used to message my family members. I'm like, Sir, this is not working. This is not going to happen." And you used to be like, you can't judge your performance now. Like, whatever is there, do that much. Just be calm down.
Yeah, it's
And
very simple. Like when you start running, it's not something like after 10 kilometers you're thinking. You just think about the next step. It's something like you are driving on a road with you're alone in the car and you have to cross the dark path in the night. So you can see only first next 100 meters only now. So why are you worried about the after 100 kilometers what going to happen? It just create
hmm,
only anxiety, nothing else. So it should be the approach. This make your schedule like pragmatic. You should plan accordingly on the step by step, baby step level. You should plan and execute your strategy. Then things will convert into the things what you like to do. It's not like that you
yes, sir.
keep on making plans which are not practical, and then by the end of the day you say "Na, kuch bhi nahi hua yaar, chalo so jate hain." It happens. It also happens.
I think making practical plans help you to strive the day. Like 30% हो गया, 40% हो गया, यू आर लाइक ओके, अभी और 60% बचा है, करना है एंड देन बाय नाइट you finish the 80% part of it, you have a satisfied sleep, and the next day morning you
Yes.
can plan again.
Like just right now, every yesterday I had a PYQ Parishram interaction. So
Hmm.
they were asking, sir, how to divide the time now between GS and optional for the coming next 2 months. So any suggestion from your side?
Okay, so right now I would suggest that 50% of the time should be given to optional, and the rest of the 50% time, any of the GS subject that they want to study. Provided what needs to be done, that is the most important thing. Like टाइम का हम नहीं बोल सकते कि इतना टाइम आप दीजिए, क्या चीजें खत्म होनी चाहिए वो आई कैन से, कि आपके शॉर्ट नोट्स बने हुए होने चाहिए. यू शुड हैव एन अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ थिंग्स, साइकोलॉजी में किस हिसाब से क्वेश्चंस पूछे जा रहे हैं. सो वंस a single read is done in this month, I feel you can do the GS part. तो एक सिंगल रीड करने में और शॉर्ट नोट्स बनाने में जितना टाइम लगता है उतना साइकोलॉजी को देना चाहिए और बाकी जीएस को देना चाहिए, बिकॉज एट द एंड ऑफ द डे ऑप्शनल इज गोइंग टू मेक और ब्रेक द गेम.
Yeah, definitely. And
एंड देन
this year experience is that psychology is the game maker, not breaker, because scores are increasing in psychology and people are getting back into services because of psychology.
ट्रू सर. एंड कमिंग टू द जुलाई मंथ हो गया, अगस्त मंथ में आई वुड सजेस्ट दैट दे हैव टू स्टार्ट डूइंग आंसर राइटिंग. लाइक अभी से आंसर राइटिंग करना है, बट तब उस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम पे सेक्शनल टेस्ट, फुल लेंथ टेस्ट, एंड द मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग इज नोट्स उनके फिंगर टिप्स पे होने चाहिए. तो
Yeah,
कोई भी टॉपिक अगर. हम्म.
I will also make some videos regarding how to make those 5 minute notes, those crispy notes, how to get those notes done. After like making your bulky notes into those crispy notes is also a challenge.
ट्रू, क्योंकि सब कुछ ही इम्पोर्टेंट लगता है एंड यू जस्ट वांट टू कॉपी डाउन एवरीथिंग इनटू योर शॉर्ट नोट सो दैट यू डोंट मिस ऑन एनीथिंग.
Like I will share what should be the approach in this regard.
यस सर,
Like
दैट विल बी रियली
from
हेल्पफुल.
real life scenario, like I have my notes. I simply put that these are my
हम्म.
notes, and you can uh, take some good examples. So from a particular topic, हाँ यार इसमें से ऐसे बन सकता है. That would be sufficient.
एग्जैक्टली.
And moving forward, another important aspect is note making. Yeah, I'm just asking you this basic questions because Komal, you have done a great job in only your first means you are taking the selection, scoring 272 in itself a very big deal. So your approach is very different. It's very novel. So that's why I want to know that what is your strategy, how you approach this optional, so that the upcoming aspirants also can gain confidence, because a lot of people say psychology में toppers नहीं है, psychology में strategy नहीं है. So all these things should be set aside and they should listen to you and pen down the important things you're telling.
डेफिनेटली सर, लाइक आई ट्राई टू हेल्प फ्रॉम माई साइड. मैंने जितना इस जर्नी में सीखा है. सो विथ रिगार्ड्स टू नोट मेकिंग स्पेसिफिकली, we'll talk about the paper one part. Okay, so the first thing that I have said is have any basics course. It should be one book only, which can be Sisreli sir की book है या गिरीश्वर मिश्रा sir की book है. And if you have taken coaching, the coaching notes would be your basic thing. And then उनको आप यूनिट 4 से एक बार स्टार्ट करो सिलेबस पढ़ना, बिकॉज यूनिट 1 इज अबाउट इंट्रोडक्शन टू साइकोलॉजी, जिसमें से डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन नहीं आते हैं. इट इज मोर एप्लीकेशन बेस्ड. तो आपको पूरे बाकी टॉपिक्स का आइडिया होना चाहिए. दे वुड आस्क यू कि हाउ वुड यू सॉल्व अ सोसाइटल प्रॉब्लम यूजिंग दिस. फॉर दैट यू नीड टू हैव एन अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ ऑल द अदर चैप्टर्स इन द सिलेबस. तो उस वजह से आई स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम चैप्टर 4, द यूनिट 4 ह्यूमन बिहेवियर से. वहां से आप रीडिंग करना स्टार्ट करो, आपकी जो भी बेसिक बुक है, यूनिट 4, 5, 6, all of these till 14. Then come to 2 and 3 because it is a little dry part, the research part. उतना मजा नहीं आता है जब तक समझ नहीं आता है. And then I
So
would finally,
don't worry, I will take care of that this time. I have the model answers for all these, so there's no need to worry about. We will add some masala into it this time.
okay sir. सो आई थिंक मेरे मार्क्स जहाँ पे कम हुए हैं ना, तो वो चैप्टर यूनिट 2 और यूनिट 3 वाले एस्पेक्ट्स थे जो मैं ढंग से पढ़ के नहीं गई थी, एंड आई हैड टू आंसर अ 20 मार्कर एंड अ 15 मार्कर फ्रॉम दैट, आई गेस, जितना मेरे को याद है.
Okay.
20 और 10 मार्कर कुछ था. तो आफ्टर दिस यूनिट 1 पढ़ लिया. अब दिस वुड बी कि आपका एक सिंगल रीड हो गया. फिर आई वुड सजेस्ट ओपन योर ऑनलाइन नोट्स और ऑफलाइन नोट्स जहां पर भी आपको नोट्स बनाने हैं. पिक चैप्टर 4. टॉपिक, फर्स्ट टॉपिक इज ग्रोथ एंड डेवलपमेंट. अभी आप देखो कि पीवाईक्यूज में क्या पूछा गया है. क्या ग्रोथ एंड डेवलपमेंट से डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन आया है? सो वी वुड सी दैट ग्रोथ एंड डेवलपमेंट से एज सच कोई डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन नहीं है. डेवलपमेंट टास्क पे क्वेश्चन है, विच इज अ वेरी कॉमन थीम इन यूपीएससी, लाइक साइकोलॉजी के एस्पेक्ट में. तो हम क्या करेंगे कि ग्रोथ और डेवलपमेंट वाले टॉपिक्स पे टू टू लाइनर्स बना लेंगे कि ग्रोथ क्या होता है, डेवलपमेंट क्या होता है, एग्जाम्पल्स लिख देंगे, so that in any case UPSC likes to throw something new, we are able to answer it. फिर we will move on to the concepts which are being asked in UPSC, जैसे genes वाला. How does genes affect, like the nature nurture controversy which is favorite, and then the Bowlby Ainsworth का जो experiment होता है comfort वाला and attachment वाला. तो उन पे questions repeatedly आते हैं, तो आप उनके notes ढंग से बना लो. You would write कि okay, Bowlby Ainsworth's experiment. What was the experiment? How many styles were mentioned over there? What do we learn from that? What is the criticism of it? And was it used in any other of the theories? So this makes a topic holistic. आपको notes उस
Yeah,
हिसाब से
holistic.
बनाना है कि हाँ
Yeah,
सर.
holistic note making is quintessential. Like holistic words in itself is full of dimensions. If we talk about note making, like what is the definition of this developmental task or attachment, then coming to its various attributes of attachment or developmental task, stage wise distribution is there, then coming to this various psychologists engaged from Annesworth to Bowlby to Erickson, whatever it be, then coming to, if you see the PYQs, in what context they are going to ask the question. So how should I frame an introduction, or how should I get a satisfying conclusion for it? So this is the holistic notes we should have for topic wise.
Definitely sir. So कुछ चीजें होती है which are very predictable, जैसे the Bowlby Ainsworth one. So you need to prepare the introduction, the conclusion, all of it, so that if the question falls directly, you can answer it like quick at a speed of train.
So it means you acted like a समझदार वाला aspirant. First take the low hanging fruits, उनको अच्छे से prepare करो, then go for any difficult research methods and all. Leave those dry areas. Just first get the low hanging fruits. So it's a smart approach. Like everybody should adopt it. कि जो easily हो सकता है, we should get it done. Because like we have a kind of bias towards the difficult aspects. कि यार पहले ये कर लेते हैं because ये आ गया तो इसमें कुछ नहीं हो पाएगा. It should not be like that. This exam is again law of averages. बहुत सारा काम कर लो, एवरेज लेवल पे कर लो, और जो मुश्किल है उसको भी थोड़ा सा कर लोगे तो तब भी काम चल जाएगा.
यस सर. तो यूपीएससी के इन जनरल जीएस में भी मैंने यही सीखा है कि सॉरी इन जनरल जीएस में भी यही सीखा है कि ओके ये प्रायोरिटी वाले टॉपिक्स हैं, पहले इनके नोट्स बना लेते हैं, ये प्रिपेयर्ड हो जाएंगे, ये इजी हो जाएगा, फिर हम बाकी का देखा जाएगा. अगर जो आने वाले हैं क्वेश्चंस प्रेडिक्टेबल है, उन्हीं के नोट्स आपके पास नहीं है, then there is no point in like running after the hard stuff. One thing which is very brutal in this exam is all you are judged by your marks. Nobody sees how much knowledge you have gained. आप दिखा भी नहीं सकते हो
Yes.
उनको. And I have realized this very well because there were many people who were like more knowledgeable than me, but then when they fail to put it on paper and to get the scores, they are not valued. तो मेरे को ये चीज समझ आ गया था कि यूपीएससी के हिसाब से चीजें करनी है, चीजें प्रायोरिटाइज करके कि ओके ये
Yeah,
चीज आ सकता है तो इसको
that's
पहले
why
कर लेना है.
this year I only started the PYQs, only PYQ focused answer writing, because those are the mirror of UPSC mentality, what UPSC wants from you. So write PYQs, like I'm not saying ki write PYQ Parishram, only write PYQs on your own, but you
हम्म.
should be writing as per the demand of UPSC, what UPSC wants.
ट्रू. एंड इसमें एक और चीज होती है कि जब आप पीवाईक्यूज देखते हैं ना, तो यू गेट टू अंडरस्टैंड ओके दिस इज व्हाट यूपीएससी इज डिमांडिंग. एंड आपको क्वेश्चंस का पैटर्न भी समझ आ जाता है कि ओके क्रिटिसिज्म भी चाहिए, उसको उसको एग्जांपल्स भी चाहिए, राइट? सो यू मेक योर नोट्स इन दैट वे ताकि आपको लास्ट में पढ़ने में दिक्कत ना हो. You don't fill your notes with a lot of knowledge. You fill your notes with what you would actually implement in the exam. And that I think
Yeah,
makes the notes crisp.
this is a wonderful point you just said, Komal, because we are not able to differentiate between the this knowledge aspect and the content which is can be implemented. Like I have also an anecdote for it. I was collecting the quotes and very nice phrases for essays. And one of my friends suggested, "Why don't you write this Buddha or Gita teachings?" I said, "What rubbish are you talking about?" Then he said, like, simply pen down for if you are going to write something about patience in your ethics paper, just write a jug fills by drop, niche quote unquote Buddha. And I thought it's a very simple line. He said, that's it. Nobody, everybody discounts it because it's simple and easy, but you pen it down. And this is the implementable content there. Same is the case with psychology. In psychology also, we like everybody is after, so what about the current affairs for psychology? What about the definitions? I said, जो सिंपल वाला है पहले वो तो लिख लो जो एनसीईआरटी में दिया है. एवरीबॉडी वांट सम, सर एंडरसन की स्किल थ्योरी के बारे में बताओ, मगर पहले फिट्स वाली तो पढ़ लो यार. दैट इज वेरी सिंपल गिवन इन एनसीईआरटी. We go for ACT R model of Anderson later. That is not required.
Yes, sir. I believe the topics should be done based on PYQs and जो भी NCERTs में दिए हैं उतना आप कर लो. तो क्या होगा कि अगर कुछ रैंडम भी आ जाता है ना, तो यू कैन लीव दैट इन ऑप्शंस. चॉइस आपको करने का रहता है. इन दैट वे यू कैन सेलेक्ट विच क्वेश्चंस टू आंसर. तो यू विल हैव एनफ नंबर ऑफ क्वेश्चंस वेयर आपने जो पढ़ा हुआ कंटेंट है उतना ही लिखना होगा. तो rather than going for some new study, because we are not doing research in psychology, at the end of the day we need to get out of this cycle like by clearing it. So I think we need to make the approach more towards UPSC perspective rather than research perspective.
Okay, like this is also a very, you can say, cliche or also important question. How many citations per question? Though it depends on the question asked, but you know, in some questions you have a lot of citations or studies to mention. Then how you balance it out?
Okay. So I had very less content in my hand. So I never had that issue कि मेरे साथ content overload हो रहा है. I believe
See,
citations up. Hmm?
see, this is the beauty of your answer writing. You have less content, then you are able to score well. Just because whatever you read, that is very contest type. जो पढ़ लिया वो घुस गया दिमाग में, उसको निकाल देना है. You
Yes,
like proper encoding is there, proper recall is also there. The forgetting wala part is minimum.
exactly. Because I have very less content in hand. So there are two things. I can't afford to forget. And second is, क्योंकि minimal है, दिमाग is like इतना मैं याद रख लूंगा. Right? If you burden it with a lot of information, it's like basic भी मैं भूल जाऊंगा, अब तो लिख answer. So
Right. This cognitive overload is, you can say, a big you can say syndrome for UPSC aspirants. They used to collect a lot of data. Even they are collecting data from economic survey up to 0.2 decimal points of unemployment in a particular district of a particular state. And at the end of the day, they find themselves, yeah, why this? They
Mm,
are collecting GDP figures, then they are GVA figures at nominal also, annual prices also, and in exam they were totally messed up what to write and what not to write.
exactly.
Same case applies here.
So with the case of citations, I would say that even if particular citations are not written until and unless the question is demanding it, it is fine. But if something is very common, like you are expected to know this rat experiment, Skinner ka, okay, so that you can mention over there. But if some citation is which is your own creation, I believe citation se zyada uh, real life example will score the marks.
Okay, this is also a very intuitive thing which should be like I should also ponder over it because in my
I
understanding
Mhm.
there should be healthy mix of both. But yeah, you're right. Real life examples show your applied aspect, how much you are able to apply your knowledge or concept you gained from psychology.
Yes, sir. ऐसा है कि जो साइकोलॉजी के कीवर्ड्स है they should definitely be present in your answer. Like if
Yeah,
it is a cognitive dissonance, if it is self perception, uh, so these all things should be present, and their authors and their founders should also be. If it is self perception, Daniel Bem should be present over there in the
yes.
brackets कि इन्होंने बताया, फेस्टिंगर ने कॉग्निटिव डिसोनेंस बताया, बट उसको आप अप्लाई कर दो अपने हिसाब से. दैट वुड शो दैट एग्जाम की इसको कॉन्सेप्ट किसने बनाया वो भी पता है, एंड एट द सेम टाइम शी इज एबल टू अप्लाई.
Yes. Moving further, Komal, like we discussed the answer writing, we discussed note making, we discussed strategy. Like this year, the prelims was like totally a bouncer, and a number of aspirants were not able to make it. So, how should they approach optional for the upcoming months? Because this is the right time for optional now for them.
Yes
So,
sir.
what should be their approach? Like, should they start answer writing? Should they start note making? Should they start reading? What should be the approach for next 3 4 months? Because these 3 4 months are the period when either you engage yourself something or either they will get wasted fully.
Right. So I believe that note making should be done. In my case what happened was my note making was done almost by January February part, till February end, for psychology specifically. तो जब प्री और मेंस के बीच में एक महीने मेरी तबीयत खराब थी, एंड आफ्टर दैट एथिक्स मैंने प्री और मेंस के बीच में करा है, जीएस के आंसर राइटिंग मैंने प्री और मेंस के बीच में करी है. एवरीथिंग दिस वाज पॉसिबल बिकॉज माय साइकोलॉजी नोट्स वर प्रिपेयर्ड बिफोर हैंड. सो आई बिलीव नोट्स शुड बी मेड, बट उसका तरीका ये है कि आप पीवाईक्यूज पढ़ो एंड ट्राई टू सी व्हाट आंसर शुड बी रिटन हियर. And if you don't understand, ask any of your seniors, any of the mentors that you have, कि okay, this is the question, this has to be answered in this way. एक बार आपको समझ आ जाता है कि क्वेश्चंस को आंसर कैसे करना है, then start note making so that you make notes of what is required. You don't make
Yeah.
notes of the knowledge part as we discussed earlier.
Okay.
So
So
I would suggest in the next 3 4 months, the note making part has to be done. And secondly, the examples can be collected. And once आप
okay.
थोड़ा बहुत पोर्शन कर लेते हो नोट मेकिंग करके, then simultaneously you can start doing answer writing. एक पॉइंट के बाद जब कॉन्सेप्ट्स इनहेरेंटली आपके दिमाग में इम्बाइब हो जाते हैं, आपको आंसर्स लिखने में मजा आने लगता है. बिकॉज इट इज एप्लीकेशन बेस्ड. यू आर लाइक ओके, यहाँ पे तो मैं ये कॉन्सेप्ट यूज करूंगा, आई विल यूज ह्यूरिस्टिक्स हियर, आई विल यूज दिस subliminal perception, how would government approach this thing. So I think note making is required, and then after a point, simultaneous answer writing would be.
Okay. Now coming to the favorite part of our interaction, let me do some marketing of my courses. Uh, like uh, like whosoever is coming for 2024, I have a schedule for them for this PYQ Parishuram only. Like
Okay.
during my days when I failed in one of the prelims, it also happened with me once. So that I find out कि यार कोई schedule नहीं है psychology की answer writing के लिए, because you cannot read आराम से बैठ के बस बंदा पढ़े ही जा रहा है, because it will take you on a different dimension, because psychology has a huge possibility कि आप कहीं और ही पहुंच जाओ पढ़ते पढ़ते, so it derails from UPSC. So if you want to
So
stay on track with your answer writing, you can write with me. It will be a 4 to 5 months program. So anybody who are interested can join me, and Kamal is here to support me out in this.
definitely,
Thank you,
sir.
Kamal.
Because I have taken last year your test series, and then us time pe I had no idea what series to pick up and all. It was Damini who told me this thing. And then once I took this year also, I was like, okay, I'm not going to refer anything else. I'll just go to the same thing because that has helped me out. So I would suggest everyone that if they
Yeah,
want a
Damini is my
clarity
five star
process.
marketing guru. But yeah, she used to write beautiful answers. I shared the copies. You also write great, and with even with her working professional life, she was able to score great.
Yes, sir. She writes answers like she understands psychology very well. Like there were basic doubts that I
Yeah,
used to ask her कि ये ऐसे क्यों है ये ऐसे क्यों है, and she used to explain them very nicely. And I'm like, इतना simple जब आपको कोई subject समझ आ जाए ना, तब आप समझ लो कि you have like well grasp over that subject if you are able to
yeah,
explain it in the
exactly.
minimal possible words.
Okay. That is a very, you can say, a deep comment, which I will try to understand later. Yeah, anything else you want to convey to the future aspirants for their benefit in psychology optional, other than choosing me?
Choosing you, though, I'm definitely recommending. Apart
Thank
from
you.
that, particularly for psychology, sir.
Yeah, particularly for psychology right now.
Okay. So if I suggest, I would say that psychology as a subject is very interesting. So it is not difficult to sustain this subject. Like people say that optional पढ़ के bore हो जाता है. Psychology is a subject which is very interesting, and at the same time, it helps you develop a perspective towards real life, like exam. आपको खुद को लेकर कि okay, अभी ऐसा difficult situation आ गया, how do I stay motivated? Okay, I have to stay motivated by intrinsic motivation because extrinsic motivation is temporary. I can ask for someone to get me rewards, but that is not. So you just learn so much about yourself. And then I think the most important part that helped me was the metacognition. I used to talk to myself a lot. Okay, this is working, this is not working. Why are you doing this? So I talk to my brain and my body in the way that they are working hard. I ask them, okay, please understand this. I need your support. Please coordinate. And
Yeah,
they respond
especially
well.
stress management wale aspects, problem focused coping, emotion focused coping. So you are engaged in both. So that is the benefit of reading psychology. Like I also used to
Definitely.
apply when I was in a stress.
एंड देन ऐसे होता है कि आपको साइकोलॉजी पढ़ के एथिक्स इजीली समझ आता है
Yeah,
बिकॉज यू आर
it's
एबल टू
not that difficult.
अंडरस्टैंड स्टेक होल्डर्स अप्रोच कि ये बंदा किस तरीके से सोच रहा होगा या
Yeah,
यू
you will come to know
अंडरस्टैंड
their ABC part, na, affection, cognition, behavior. So you are able to get their attitude also. कि हाँ, this would be the overall attitude. So you can approach the case studies. So what's your score in ethics this time, Kamal?
ethics I scored less. I think because of the part A specifically 97, sir.
Not, not like average type marks, not less.
हाँ I mean ethics was my strength area actually. So I was hoping that I would be scoring
Same
better than
same
maths.
story. I scored 122 in my last attempt, but it was around 130 plus was the grade score. So decent score was there that year.
Mm. So this year
So
I'm trying to improve on that part.
so psychology is going to help you in X and essays also in philosophical wala ones. And that is also like nowadays psychology is doing great, and especially number of students scored 140 plus psychology option students.
Hmm. True. And I would say that it's like uh, psychology helps you stay calm if you apply it in the right manner. Like I know many of
Yes.
my friends who were giving mains, they used to come to me, okay, tell me from your psychology what I should be doing now to stay calm. And I used to
You
suggest
should
them do
charge
this,
them.
do this. Yeah. So they're like, रात को नींद नहीं आ रही है. I'm like, रात को आंसर राइटिंग कर रहे हो क्या? They're like, yes. And I'm like, stop brainstorming 2 hours before your sleep. They're like, this worked. And I'm like, that is
Yeah.
psychology.
I think your alpha beta waves are disturbed. So balance
Exactly.
them out.
So that way, psychology helps a lot. And I would say to the future aspirants of psychology that keep it very simple and write it in a manner as you would be explaining psychology on a dinner table.
Okay, I will also write it down. Yeah, that is a very very well said, Kamal, by you, because understanding psychology means implementing psychology.
Yes, sir. And I think
Uh,
psychology, people, after I took psychology as an optional, uh, my friends, like 6 months down the line, and specifically during the mains, they're like, even if you become an administrator, you should be a psychologist for sure. Like, you should not leave this profession by side.
okay.
Because I used to listen to a lot of like mental health problems and this and that. So I think optional has helped me in that way that I could control mine and I could contribute to others also.
I can also support you. I can be your sidekick. I will not charge more.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Last question from my side. That is a beautiful interaction with you, Kamal. Just like now, the next target is 300 in psychology. How to achieve
Yes,
that?
sir. Uh, so in my case, I would specifically say that there are 2, 3 topics that I did not prepare well. So I have to prepare them well. And
I will
second
help
thing,
you out.
yes. And second thing is
Yeah,
to do
I
more
know
and more
where you
answer
lack.
writing. Sorry, sir.
Yeah,
I just,
it's okay.
yeah. So second thing I would say is to do more and more answer writing for a few things. Like, is my structure going right? Is my presentation going right? Am I able to make the diagram at the right place? It's not about making a diagram in each question. It's about, are you hitting like एग्जामिनर को देख के मजा आ रहा है क्या? एग्जामिनर शुड नॉट फील कि यार बच्चे को जगह मिल गई, बच्चे ने डायग्राम बना दिया.
Because
So
like a picture should worth 1,000 words. Picture should be like that only. A diagram should be like that only. I
secondly, on the
think
answer writing part where you would help me out.
yeah. Okay. So that's all from my side. Thank you, Kamal, for your time. It's a lovely and great interaction. I hope whosoever is going to listen are going to get benefits, especially the next year aspirants who think कि इतने कम time में कैसे हो पाएगा. Komal did it in just 2 months, but she prepared her notes beforehand. So please pen it down. Note making is quintessential. Doing PYQ is also very essential because it gives you the understanding of UPSC, how UPSC is going to ask questions, what are the favorite themes UPSC is going to ask. So please do that and stay confident because psychology is again gaining its lost grounds. and then number good selections are there. Komal is there in her first attempt with psychology only. She achieved a great feat. So congratulations again. Thank you, Komal.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir,
Yeah,
if not, I wanted to add something else.
yeah, please.
So it was like uh, we were talking about paper one and paper two, right? So
Yes.
when we talk about note making, we do note making when we have diverse sources. मतलब अगर एक ही सोर्स से पढ़ना है एंड पता है कि कितना पढ़ना है क्या पढ़ना है तो फिर नोट्स बनाने की जरूरत नहीं है विच इज द केस
Yeah,
विद
there's
स्मारक स्वयं.
no point of making notes of Lakshmikant as good as that.
Exactly, exactly. So for psychology students, I would say there is no point of making notes from स्मारक स्वयं. आप एग्जाम्पल्स के अलग से एक लिस्ट बना लो बट स्मारक स्वयं जैसे है आप उसे वैसे ही पढ़ लो.
I suggest better make an Excel sheet for examples because you can
ट्रू.
add it, you can add. That would be little easy.
आई थिंक नोट मेकिंग में एक और चीज जो मेरे को हेल्प करी वाज आई यूज्ड टू राइट इट इन टेबलर फॉर्मेट with respect to the examples. Okay, this is the topic. इसका example ऐसे, just like you said in the Excel format. And second is with respect to the researchers. तो over more than like 100 या 150 researchers कुछ थे and उनकी theories थी. तो सबका एक list बना. And I used to revise that list before going to the exam hall. What happened
Yes,
was
this is
those theories and researchers were in my head.
because these are the two aspects where you're going to add objectivity in your answer. Researchers है, हाँ है. And one more you can add, like you can break it chapter wise. कि थोड़ा सा topic wise भी arrange रहेंगे तो चीजें और अच्छे से याद हो जाएंगी.
True, sir.
Thank you, Komal. You are sharing the secrets. Thank you.
I think I learned from people who share their secrets, and it's my turn now.
Okay, that's the beauty of a psychology student. They always show their cards, and even then they are able to win.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Komal. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.